This is a true top 5s video, just like old times. 5 paranormal photographs taken inside haunted locations. And it doesn't even need an introduction. So hit those lights, sit back, and enjoy. The Stanley Hotel. Back in 2014, this channel was born, and one of the very first videos I made was on haunted hotels, one of which was the Stanley Hotel. And since then, it seems the building is still full of activity. For those who do not know the background to the hotel, here is just a brief overview of its history. It all began in 1903, when inventor Freeland Oscar Stanley stayed in Colorado with his wife Flora. At the time, he was a very sick man, but the fresh air and peaceful environment restored him to full health. And after several more visits, the Stanleys decided to build a luxurious hotel there. The 48-room hotel opened 6 years later and welcomed a host of well-to-do guests. But in 1911, a housekeeper named Elizabeth Wilson was electrocuted by a lightning strike in room 217. She survived, but the incident started a chain of paranormal events at the hotel that remain until this day, leading many to say that the Stanley is one of the most haunted locations in the United States. This was reinforced in September 1974 when horror writer Stephen King and his wife stayed at the hotel. When they arrived, they were surprised to realise that they were the only guests there and were allocated room 217. Although nothing major happened to them during their visit, Stephen remembers he had a nightmare that was so bad that it jerked him awake in a cold sweat. After he awoke and went out onto the balcony, the concept for his horror novel The Shining was born. Since King's experience in room 217, other guests have reported a variety of paranormal activity at the hotel. Room 401 and 428 are said to be haunted, and it's a regular occurrence for doors to open and shut on their own, and footsteps to be heard in the middle of the night. In the hallways, people have claimed that they can hear children laughing, running up and down halls, and playing. And the grand staircase in particular is a hotbed of activity, where several unexplained images have been captured. This leads us on to the main event. This photograph was taken in 2016 by a man called Henry from the hotel lobby, and he is certain that there was no one at the top of the stairs at the time. When looking back at the photo later, he saw a figure in what he believes is period clothing walking down the stairs. What do you think? Several paranormal experts have studied the photo, and one of them claims that if you look closely, you can see another anomaly to the left of the first figure, possibly the lady's child. This one is pushing it a bit, but the main figure has yet to be debunked, so I'd love for you all to pick it apart and decide if it's a fake or misinterpretation, or one of the most legitimate supernatural photos from the Stanley Hotel. If anyone from the hotel is watching and you want someone to come exploring, then you know who to ask. Ainsford Castle Monk. Ainsford Castle, located in Kent, UK, is not well known for its paranormal activity. It has, however, got a long and troubled history, and is a rare survival of an early Norman enclosured castle dating back to 1080. All that is left today are the ruins, but the castle is of such historical importance that it was taken into state guardianship in 1948 and is now open to visitors. While in January 2018, John Wicks took his 12-year-old son to the site as he was learning about medieval castles at school and wanted to take some photographs. But when they looked back over the shots they had taken, they could see an eerie black hooded figure glaring towards the camera from the opposite end of the site. They were certain that it was not there at the time the photo was taken. Unnerved by what he had captured, Mr. Wicks enlisted the help of a paranormal investigator, and they discovered that a black monk had been spotted in the area before. According to local legend, back in 1130, William D. Ainsford, who held the castle for the Archbishop of Canterbury, allegedly retired to become a monk. But there were skeptics, and after the image was posted online, some suggested that it was simply a hole in the wall. However, this was dismissed when paranormal investigator Alan Tigwell visited the site to see whether there was anything within the walls to explain the picture, and he could find no explanation for the strange anomaly in the photo. Whether it was the ghost of a monk that lived hundreds of years ago is hard to say, but one thing is for certain, it is unexplained and untampered with. Ghost Boy. Tuinbury in Herefordshire was originally a dairy farm that dates back to the 17th century and has been home to the Williams family since 1931. The surrounding land is still farmed to this day, but the farm buildings have been restored and remodelled into what is now Twinbury Farm Hotel, a thriving high-spec hotel, restaurant and wedding venue. There is nothing in its history to suggest that it's haunted, and I think that adds to the authenticity of this next photo, which I'm surprised hasn't had more spotlight. It was taken in 2008 by designer Neil Sandbach, who was at the farm taking photos for inclusion in stationery that he was preparing for a couple's upcoming wedding at the hotel. But when he later viewed the images on his computer, he was surprised when he noticed a blurry white figure that he was sure wasn't visible when the photo was taken. The couple were made aware of the strange anomaly, and when they visited their wedding venue a week or so later, they casually mentioned to staff if any of them had seen anything creepy at the hotel. They were shocked when staff members described what they had seen on various occasions. The ghost of a young boy dressed in white nightclothes, usually spotted close to the main barn. If this is genuine, and there are no clear signs to suggest that it isn't, then there doesn't seem to be any reason why this isn't one of the most credible ghost photographs I've seen in a while. What's your thoughts on it? Parsonage Ghost Girl. This next photo was shared online by the homeowner of a former parsonage in the UK. The creepy image appears to show a mysterious figure peering out of the window, and it looks like a small girl with a distorted face. The homeowner noticed the apparition after uploading it onto his computer. The original photo was taken by his son on a digital camera, and at the time, only his mother was in the house. The family have lived in the house for over 15 years, and during their lifetime, they've experienced a fair few unexplained things, as did the previous owner, leading them to label the place as haunted. The current owner was so concerned about what might be lurking in his home that he called a paranormal investigator to explore the house and photograph it. There have been suggestions that it was nothing more than a reflection, and others claim that it is not a child, but a man with a beard. Let me know what you can see in the video poll. In 2015, a story with the headline, "Family Photobombed by Ghosts" was going around. This was that photo. At first glance, it looks like a typical photo of two children on a family day out. But on closer inspection, there appears to be a figure wearing a white cloak in the background. The photo was taken at Roundhay Park in Leeds. The building you see behind them is a Castle Folly that was built in 1811 by local master builder George Nettleton to give the appearance of a castle gate. There isn't anything about the folly to suggest sinister things happened there, but the park it stands on has a tragic past that could be linked to supernatural activity. It was the place where Irene Richardson, the third victim of the Yorkshire Ripper, was murdered in 1977. At the time this image appeared in the newspapers, Kevin Grady, the director of Leeds Civil Trust, said this was the first time apparent ghoulish activity had been recorded at the site. However, it seems this is not the case, and what made us think this image wasn't just another Photoshop was when a story was submitted to the Top 5's website in 2017. I saw the same ghost that photobombed family at Roundhay Park. The person who sent in the story told how back in 2010, when he was around 14 years old, he and 4 of his friends went to Roundhay Park after watching films. As they walked along the pathway between 2 lakes in the park, they all freaked out after a woman in a white flowing dress appeared in front of them. She moved smoothly, as if she was gliding, and after they watched her in amazement for around 20 seconds, she seemed to fade away. Could this have been the same lady in white who appeared in the family photo 5 years later? I'll leave that to you and your mind to decide tonight, whilst you're trying to get some sleep. If any of you have your own unexplained stories, then feel free to submit them through the website at top5s.co.uk. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.